All right, so boom, you're in the market for a used Hellcat or a used SCATPACK, right? Let's keep it specific to the big engines, the 6.4 and the 6.2, right? You want you a wide body Scat, you want you a wide body Cat, Charger or Challenger, either way, understandable. There are certain things that you got to take into consideration when you are looking for a used Scat or a Cat that you've never had to take into consideration with any other car that you've ever bought, right? What do I mean? What do I mean is 60,000 miles or 70,000 miles on a Honda Civic is a good deal. 70,000 miles on a Toyota Corolla is a good deal. 70,000 miles on a Nissan Altima is a good deal. 70,000 miles on a Hellcat Red Eye, you're pushing it. 70,000 on a Scat, you're pushing it. And the reason I say that is because you know, like I know, 70,000 Hellcat and SCATPACK miles are completely different from 70,000 Honda Civic, Toyota, and Nissan miles. Which is why when you are in the used market for a Cat or a Scat, you really got to do your homework on these cars. Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Knockout 360 here with another video for you guys. As you can tell, I'm in a car. That makes this a car blog. You already know what's going down when I come around. Let's get into it, man. Car content, car shows, car reviews, car meets, anything and everything car related happens on this channel. So if you're into that, make sure that you stick around because you are in the right place. For everyone else, hit that subscribe button so that you know what's coming out and when it's coming out, as well as that bell notification. So in my last video, I was telling you guys about basically not jumping the gun when it comes to buying your Scat or Cat, right? Everybody wants a brand new car. Let's just be honest with you. Whenever it comes to cars, you want a brand new car. That's like anything. You want a brand new car, brand new house, brand new PlayStation, brand new girlfriend. You want a brand new everything. You don't want something that somebody else has dogged and driven to hell and beaten on and all that wild stuff. You want something that's brand new. Understandably so, but when they're charging $70,000, $75,000 for a SCATPACK, you are better off looking in the used car market. If you are paying $1,000 plus for a SCATPACK a month, you may be doing something wrong. That's all I got to say. But for majority of the people out there, the used car market is the best bet or the best bang for the buck. With that being said, when looking in the used car market for Scats and Cats, there are some things that you got to take into consideration. One thing that I want to say is that the conversion between miles to miles, and I say that to say SCATPACK Hellcat miles, Nissan, Toyota, Honda miles are two totally different things. You can look around for a 2020. Let's stay specific to 2020 because that was the first year that the wide body Charger appeared on the scene. So everybody, of course, wants wide body. Very few people want narrow bodies. If you want a narrow body, this may not be, the video for you. But everybody wants wide bodies. So let's keep it specific to 2020. If you were to go out and get a 2020 Honda Civic, and let's say it had 75,000 miles. Let's say these people were driving like crazy. 75,000 miles on a Honda Civic, that's nothing. I've heard people say Honda Civics don't get broken in until about 50,000 miles. 75,000 miles on a Toyota Corolla, nothing at all. 75,000 on a Nissan Altima, nothing at all. These are cars that are tried and true and have stood the test of time. 100, 200, 300, 400,000 miles plus and still running, right? I think there was a Toyota Tundra years ago that did some sort of like million-mile, test, and it kept running on the original engine. That's crazy. Now, 75,000 on a Honda Civic does not translate to the same 75,000 miles on the SCATPACK Charger or Hellcat Charger. You know what we do in these cars. You've seen my videos. If you haven't seen my videos, go watch them. You know what we do with these cars. We do burnouts like crazy. Hell, there is a mode specific on these cars for burning out and roasting your tires. You can roast your tire, a fully brand new tire with no miles on it. You can roast that bitch down to the rims if you want to. All because Dodge allows you to. Like, you're not breaking nothing. You don't have to add a taser. You don't have to get any kind of third-party accessory, anything. Dodge literally gives you that ability to roast your tires to nothing. People roast their tires like crazy. People swing their cars like crazy. People do hard pulls, all sorts of downshifting, all sorts of racing, always in track mode, beat on their cars to hell. I'm guilty of that to some degree. I like to do the highway stuff. Like, I like the high speed stuff. You'll never ever catch me doing burnouts and drifting. I've done 2 burnouts in this car and I filmed both of them for you guys. So you can go back and look at that. I don't do that shit in my car because for one, I want my car to last, and 2, tires are expensive. That's just not an expense that I want to factor in on a monthly basis. More power to you guys that do that. I'm not that guy. So you know what we do with these cars. So presumably so, you got a 2020 Dodge Charger Hellcat with 75,000 miles. You have really got to, and of course I'm exaggerating because that's a lot of driving in 2.5 years, but you have got to do your research on that car. Before you go and buy that car or purchase that car or hell, even look at that car in person, you have got to do your research, because the way that people beat up on these cars, and I see it in my car club all the time, and I just shake my head and smile because it's like, that couldn't be me. I wouldn't do that. It looks good on you. It looks cool when you do it. I ain't doing it. Not with this car. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I like the high speed stuff. I like racing. I'm with the drag racing and the highway stuff, the legal highway stuff, of course, because everything we do on this channel is legal. That's the type of stuff I'm into. I'm not into the swinging and the burning out and all that stuff. No, that stuff costs money. But I love when you guys do it. It looks cool. But knowing what we know about what people do with these cars and what the previous owners have done with these cars, it's one of those things where you can assume that your car has been through some tough damn times. Your car has probably had 3, 4, 5, 6 different sets of tires on them. And there is a chance that your car is probably going through at least 1 or 2 differentials, transfer cases, all that stuff. There's quite a high probability that before your car hits 100,000 miles, you're going to have some sort of check engine light engine issue of some sort, just because of what the previous owner did. All deals aren't good deals. You might see a moderately priced Charger or Challenger Scat or Cat 2020 wide body joint, looking clean on the outside, looking clean on the inside. And you may see it for a good price, but then you look at the miles and you say, damn, 65, 68, 70, 75,000 miles, that's kind of high, especially in a 2-year period. But period for one of these cars, even if it was 4 years, that's still high. And of course, the description is always going to say highway driven, daily driver, took it back and forth to work. Nobody takes these cars back and forth to work. Or they do, and then on the weekends, they beat the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? People beat the hell out of these cars. So when you go to a used car market, and this is the downside of buying a used car, specifically buying a used Charger or Challenger, because with any other car outside of like the performance and the muscle car market, buying a used car is always the way to go. You're buying a Jeep, a Honda or Toyota, a Nissan, buy used. Unless you're just that guy that wants a brand new Honda, which I don't know why you would. Get you a used Honda, 20, 30, 40,000 miles, 50,000, 60,000 miles, you're good to go. You can take that car to the mechanic. I guarantee he's not even going to have to look under it. He's just going to do kick the tires. Oh, it's good. It's a Honda. It's built for that. A Charger SCATPACK, on the other hand, come on now. 65, 70,000 miles. Your car could be 5,000 miles from just the whole engine and powertrain falling out. Because you don't know what the previous owner has done with that car and how much they've beaten on that car. I have seen the craziest shit in the world with these cars. I've seen guys on Saturday roast their tires to the point where you see the brakes are on fire. The calipers are on fire. And then you'll see that same guy the next weekend doing it again. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll see that guy during the week driving his car back and forth to work. And it's like, bro, you can't really expect your car to see 80,000 miles before you have some major drivetrain issues. Like, I know you don't expect that. Like, you cannot take your car to Dodge for oil change and tire rotation and then get mad at them when they tell you that it's time for a new drive shaft or a new differential. Like, you can't get mad at them. Like, that was all you. Nobody told you to do a stand-in burnout for 58 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Nobody told you to do the crazy donut, downtown Charlotte in a busy intersection just for the fuck of it. Like, I understand our cars are built a certain way, and obviously we have a mode that we can roast tires with, but for one, nobody uses that mode. That line lock shit, that takes way too long to engage. It's all kinds of like fucking PlayStation 5 type stuff where you gotta push an OK button, hold it down, then hold the pedal down. Nobody's doing it that way. We do it the old-fashioned way. Turn the traction off, brake, gas, go to work. Right? So it's not like we're using the safe method for roasting tires. People are using the old school, turn traction off, get rid of that shit, and I'm gonna just roast these tires and burn them to hell. You know what I'm saying? There's no electronics involved in that at all. Because I think with line lock, there's some sort of electronic feature or something that basically it locks your brakes to the point that you just can't move, and then you roast your tires. But I guess it's like a safer way of roasting your tires, as opposed to the old-fashioned way of just holding the brake down and beating the hell out of it, which 98% of the population does. So let's not act like roasting your tires is safe in these cars, because it's not. At least not the way that we do it. So when you're in the market for these types of cars, you have got to be careful. And that's just another thing on top of many other things when buying a used Scat or a Cat, because you don't know what the hell you're getting into. Me personally, if I were in the market for a used Scat or Cat, like, it helps to know people. Like, shout out to my man Chris Dillon, Mad Scatter, Mad_Scatter on Instagram. He's been in hella videos of mine. The man knows, he knows Charger, Challenger from top to bottom. Hellcat, SCATPACK, he know it all. In the event that I was going to buy a used Scat or a Cat, I would take him with me. Now, mind you, I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people always say when women go and buy new cars, a used car, they probably want to take a man because they don't want to be taken advantage of, or, you know, they want to have somebody there that's a little more knowledgeable about cars than them. In the case of a Scat or a Cat, take as many people as you need to make sure that you don't get fucked over when it comes to buying one of these cars. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a friend, and this is back in the day. This is back when they had the old SRT 8 Chargers, you know, before the Hellcat. Or maybe not before the Hellcat, but I know he didn't have a Hellcat at the time. And he went and bought an SRT 8 Charger, the blacked out joint clean. I think he said he bought it with 57,000 miles on it. 57,000 miles, and at this point, it was about 4.5, 5 years old. So, a relatively old car, but he wanted an SRT Charger, and that's what he got. And I lie to you not, within, he had to have the rear differential replaced within 20,000 miles. Now, you know, like I know, rear diffs don't go out just like that. Like, they don't just go out like that. Those are the types of things that go out, what, like 100,000 plus miles, 80,000, 90,000, 100 plus, 150,000. If you drive your car like you got some sense, those are the types of things that don't go out like readily. So the fact that that car had, what did I say, 57,000 miles on it, and within the next 10,000 of him owning it, he already, or 20,000 of him owning it, he already had to have the rear differential replaced, completely replaced, not even like fixed, but replaced. Like, it was fucked. That lets you know that people beat on these damn cars. And to my understanding, that rear diff was not cheap at all. It's an SRT product on a Charger. So SRT anything is expensive. Trust me, I know. He had to come out of pocket for that. There's no warranty or anything like that. Or maybe there was. There probably was. But at that point, with it being after 5 years, I think the warranty is up. Like, what? Isn't it like 5 years, 100,000 mile warranty? So I think he bought his about 6 years after it was released. So I don't think there was a warranty. So to my understanding, he had to come out of his pocket for that. Now, in his mind, he's looking at it like, oh, damn, I got a, who is it, 2000 and SRT 8. It was a 2012, 2013. And like I said, it was 2013, 14, right before they went to the Hellcat in 2015. And like I said, he got it a couple years after the fact and got it at 57,000 miles. So in his mind, he's looking at it like, oh, this is not bad at all. Like, I got me a deal. Little did he know, the previous owner was beating that car to hell. And I don't know if the previous SRTs had line lock in them. I don't think that they did. I really don't think that they did. I don't even think the first gen Hellcats had line lock. I think you just had to get in there old fashioned and to roast them. But whatever he was doing, he was beating the hell out of that rear diff. And by the time my homeboy got it, 20,000 miles later, that car was dead. Or, you know, it was on the side of the road. And it was expensive. So on top of everything being expensive, on top of the Hemi and the Hellcat disappearing in 1 year, you now have to worry about buying a lemon and spending money out the ass for that lemon. Like, whatever you save on buying a used Hellcat or SCATPACK, you're going to put right the fuck back into it when it comes to fixing it. So with that being said, guys, like I'm telling you, you really have to do your research when it comes to these cars. It's not just a matter of getting the right price, the right color, trim, and all that shit. You really need to make sure that the car you're buying is fully functional and going to be fully functional for quite some time. Because I know a lot of people, what they will do is they will get these cars brand new, dog them up to hell, fuck them up completely, and take them to Dodge, and they're like, okay, so this is going to cost you, it'll run, but it's never going to run how it used to run, and it's going to cost you in the ballpark of $7,000 to $10,000 for whatever you need. And then that's when people start thinking, I really don't need this in my life, and then they try to sell it, and they come and sell it to your ass, you know, and because you're just so gung-ho to get a SCATPACK wide body with 32,000, like hell, 40,000, 50,000 miles on these cars is crazy. Buying them used. That's not necessarily true. Not all cars are like that. Not to mention, these are strong internals and, you know, differential and drive shaft and all that shit. Like, these are pretty powerful cars, but the components are just as powerful. But when you've seen the things that people do to these cars, like, it's only a matter of time. It's not the if, it's the when. It's not the if it blows up or fucks up, it's the when. You guys know that like I know that. So it's either going to blow up while the first owner has it or when you get it. Preferably neither one of those, which is why you need to do your research. So just because you see a 2018, 2017, 2020, 21 Scat with 15, 20, 30, 40,000 miles does not mean that it's in pure mint condition. That's far from the truth. If it was a Honda, sure. Toyota, sure. Hell, even a Chevy Equinox Cobalt, I just passed the Caprice, sure. Dodge Charger, SCATPACK, or Hellcat, you better do your research. What's that commercial say? Show me the Carfax. Like, that's where you need to be. Like, show me the Carfax. I need to see everything. Has this thing been in an accident? How many times has it been to the shop? What's the oil change and tire rotation period? I need to know everything. Because you're not about to sit here and dump a 55,000 mile Charger Hellcat, a wide body on me, thinking that I got a good deal, when in actuality, that car is 10,000 miles away from just blowing the fuck up, like engine blown up, everything blown up. So, you know, like I said, guys, I know I'm kind of adding another component on top of what I told you in the previous video about buying used. Buying used is great. You know, you save money. You don't get hit with that principal interest and all that shit at the top that the original owner did. You don't have to worry about, you know, down payments and all that mess. Generally speaking, when you're buying a used car, it's pretty straightforward. Like, listen, this is what it is. This is what it does. This is what we're asking. Take it or leave it. Pretty straightforward. It's already been broken in by the previous owner, so you don't have to go through the break-in period. But at the same time, I'm telling you, it's just one of them things, like, you don't know what their previous owner was doing with this car, and you know scats and cats like I know scats and cats, and you know what people do with scats and cats. So let's not act like, you know, it's a brand new mint condition car, because 9 times out of 10, that thing probably got some work on it. You know what I'm saying? Not even mileage. Like, mileage isn't a good barometer when buying these cars. With any other car, you look at it, you say, how many miles is on it? Oh, 50,000? Not bad at all. 60,000? Not bad. 70, 80? Kind of high, but it's a Honda, it's a Toyota, it's a Nissan. Not bad at all. With these cars, you got to get up under the hood of them. You got to beat on them a little bit, test them. It's not enough to just walk up to one of these cats or scats and kick the tires and fire her up and, oh, it sounds good, looks good, let's go. No, I need to get on the highway and do about 160 for about 40 seconds. Like, if I can do 160 for 40 seconds and nothing blows up or falls off, you got yourself a deal. Anything short of that, no way. You know what I'm saying? That's just my 2 cents on it, guys. Don't fall into the trap that my homeboy fell in trying to get him an SRT8 Charger that was old as fuck, that he shouldn't have been buying to begin with, but he wanted an SRT, and he had to pay SRT prices for it. So don't get caught up in that mess, man. At the end of the day, like I said, Hellcats and SCATPACKs will be around for quite some time. They're not going anywhere. So just because you don't get it off the dealership floor doesn't mean that you're not going to get it ever, okay? Trust me when I say, when these people are ordering these jailbreaks, these last call edition models, you will see them on the resale market probably that same year. You know what I'm saying? And for the 300 guys, that 6'4", 300, you'll be seeing that probably the same year as well. People do not hold on to these cars long because, for one, they can't afford them. 2, it scares the shit out of them. Or 3, it gets them in so much trouble that they don't even want to deal with it. So 365 days is plenty of time for somebody to realize, I don't want this damn car no more. I don't want these problems. I don't want this 800 horsepower problem sitting in my garage, right? And then, of course, you'll see 23s on the used market. You'll see 22s on the used market. Whatever the hell you've ever wanted, you will see it on the used market. But just because you see it on the used market doesn't mean it's the best of the best buys. That's not always the case, which is why it's important for you to do your homework. All right. So as always, guys, I like the idea of buying used cats and scats. Save that money. Somebody else has already broken in good for you. But at the same time, you got to be careful, because breaking a car in and breaking a car is two different things. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to you to distinguish that. So as always, it's been your boy Knockout 360. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.